What's up, guys? We're back for another video. It's another draft video. Obviously, it's draft season, so draft videos, we're going to be pumping these draft videos out. Right now, we're going to be going over our edge rankings. We have slight differences in our edge rankings, so it's going to be both of our lists. At the very end of the video, you're going to have to watch for our reasoning and everything, but at the very end, I'm going to post or put a picture of both of our lists. So you can just look at that and then listen to our analysis of which players you want to hear. But yeah, so edge rankings. Make sure to follow our Twitter to vote for which position rankings you want next. But also I want to add, as these videos go on, we're trying to make the quality better. So if you guys have any suggestions of things we should do, go ahead, comment it below. Because last time I put all the film at the very end, but this time I'm going to be playing the film of the players as we go over them. You guys are going to see that in a minute. But if you guys have any other suggestions, anything else you think we could improve on, reply it below. Reply who you agree with, etc. But yeah,
before we get into it, subscribe, like this video,
and share.
Tell your friends.
Yes, tell your friends. Get us out there. But yeah, we're going to catch up with you guys in a second when we get the film up. We're back, so let's go ahead and get it going. We ranked our top 10 edge rushers, each of us. I included an honorable mention. I don't know if Shawn did or not, but
I'll have a mid-round gem that I'll throw out there.
All right. Yeah, so let me go ahead and start. My edge one is Jalen Phillips. So obviously, you could put him lower or higher, depending on how you feel about his concussion issue. But the concussion issue is really the only issue with him. It's the only issue. There's stuff he can work on like everybody else. But I'm going to go ahead and play some Jalen Phillips clips. He's number 15 in these. He's a very good pass rusher, very, very good pass rusher. He's going to be, if he can stay healthy, I think he's going to be an elite pass rusher quite quickly. But the thing he could work on a lot is his run defense. He's a decent run defender, but he's not as good as some other players in this class are for run defense. So if you need a pass rusher, get him. He also, his mechanics. He knows, watch this play. He knows what he's doing. He doesn't just go in and try to beat you physically, beat you athletically. He knows what he's doing. Like, watch this move he uses here. And he has multiple different moves that he uses. He does have the athleticism to just beat you physically. And he also gets wins on the edge. They don't line him up as much on the inside. You guys will see why I'm referring to that now. He has a lot of upside because he's very smart and he's very coachable. Because you can see how often and how well he uses these moves. He just needs to be coached more for run defense, which I think he can do very well. So there's that. And he has the good athleticism, good size, but he's not the most – he's athletic, but he doesn't have the most upside from pure athleticism. But, yeah, who's your edge one?
My edge one is Kwity Paye from Michigan. People think I'm probably a homer because I'm a Michigan fan, but I've seen people with Kwity Paye as their number one guy. Kwity Paye, 6'4", 275. People look at his film and they expect him to bully guys, be a power rusher, use his strength. He's not actually a power rusher. He's more of a technician. Has some good pass rush moves. He only played in 4 games this past year, but he did have 3 sacks. This is a guy who can win as out of the 3-point stance in a 4-3. He can move inside and rush from the interior. I think he could even stand up and probably rush as a 3-4 outside linebacker. I think he's scheme versatile. He's got a big motor, big time motor, and I think sky's the limit. Big body, big athletic body. Scheme versatile. I just think he's the edge one for me. It's not a giant gap. I think there's a lot of good edges, but for Kwity Paye, I think he's the edge one for me.
All right. Well, speaking of Kwity Paye is my edge number 2. Personally, I think the difference between Jalen Phillips and Kwity Paye is the fact that Kwity Paye is a better run defender currently with a lot of upside as a pass rusher, while Jalen Phillips is a better pass rusher with upside as a run defender. Here's some Kwity Paye film now. He's very good. But I think he's a bit, as a pass rusher, I think he is kind of a bit inconsistent. Sometimes he just kind of tries to run at guys. He doesn't necessarily, like Jalen Phillips, he has a set of different moves and he knows what he's going to plan to do. And Jalen Phillips also adjusts. Kwity Paye, he just hasn't really been coached much as a pass rusher. He's clearly been coached like a machine as a run defender, as you just saw right there.
Yeah.
Like he does stuff that you don't know that straight away. He's been coached very well as a run defender. He doesn't over pursue. He doesn't just see guys not blocking him and just run towards the quarterback and then leave a gaping hole. He knows exactly what he's doing as a run defender. But as a pass rusher, sometimes I feel like he just kind of runs at guys and just tries to physically get past them, and it just doesn't work that often. And then when he uses pass rush moves occasionally, it works. So I think if you coach him up, which he has a ton of upside because he's very coachable, obviously. Let me pause the film there. That'll be one of the next players. But if you coach him up, teach him some pass rush moves and all that stuff, give him a good mentor in the league, and he learns that stuff, and he starts to make a plan when he pass rushes instead of just kind of running straight at guys, I think he can be elite. And I think, like Shawn said, I think he's mostly a 4-3 defensive end, or you can slide him in. But he might be able to do a 3-4. I'm not super confident in that. Jalen Phillips could do both.
I think Kwity Paye can do 3-4 based on already being a good run defender and based on how he rushes the passer. When I looked at him, people look at him and they are expecting to see a power rush type guy. He's actually way more of a finesse technician, and I think you can win doing that rush style more often as a 3-4 outside linebacker than you can as a power rusher, in my opinion.
Oh, and Kwity Paye, he's
also pretty quick.
I was going to add on. He is insane bend. His 3-cone drill is
exactly
insane. He's probably got the best bend in the draft.
I can't wait to see his time when he actually does it for his pro day, because we've only seen the video.
Yeah.
I want to see the actual time come out.
It'll probably be similar to that too. But yeah, there's that. Also, Jalen Phillips. I think Jalen Phillips can do both. Jalen Phillips actually dropped into coverage a couple of times, which is kind of funny whenever you see these edge rushers dropping into coverage.
Yeah.
But it's what teams do sometimes. So I think both of them could do either, but I think Jalen's probably better at doing both. But Kwity Paye also doesn't have the injury concerns Jalen has. So
yeah,
take that how you will.
So my edge 2 is actually Joseph Ossai.
Oh.
I'm a huge Joseph Ossai guy. That rhymes.
Here's Joseph Ossai.
Not intentional rhyming for Joseph Ossai guy.
Yeah.
But 6'4", 253. He had 15.5 TFLs in the season and 5.5 sacks. People like to try to downplay Joseph Ossai because they say that he got quote-unquote bitched by Tevin Jenkins, which I think is, in my opinion, that's an overstatement. Because, yeah, there were some plays where Tevin Jenkins kind of destroyed him a little bit, but there were a few plays. I watched every snap from that game, every Joseph Ossai snap from that game, I think, yesterday. And he beat Tevin Jenkins periodically in run defense and run stops. And he even had the game-winning sack. He just blew right past. He got chipped by the tight end. He blows right past Tevin Jenkins and sacks the quarterback to win the game. For Texas versus Oklahoma State. So I'm a huge fan of Joseph Ossai. I think he's the best 3-4 edge rusher in this draft. He also has played with his hand in the dirt a little bit. I don't think he's as good at that. I think he's more of a stand-up 3-4 outside linebacker guy. I think if you put his hand in the dirt, you'll see a lot of similarities with him and Caleb on Chason, where he just gets pushed away. And he's not very heavy. Like I said, he's 253. He's not going to be able to really set the edge as well. But I think as a 3-4 outside linebacker, I think he will just destroy the league.
You can see him destroying 74 right there.
Yeah, he's really, really quick, man. People I know you don't like his get off as much as
it's inconsistent.
I don't think it's that bad. I think it looks worse when he's in the 3-point stance versus when he's standing up.
Yeah. That's my biggest knock on him. That's why I have him at 3. Plus, I really like the other two. I actually have Joseph Ossai as my 3. Like you said, he's got a fantastic motor. He never stops working. He's very fast. He ran. What was his 40 time?
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. I think it might have been like 4.6 something.
It was really fast, regardless. And
4.5 something. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I can try to look it up while you're talking.
He's got a good motor. He uses pass rush moves. He knows what he's doing. Really, the only reason why I have him at 3 instead of higher is because, like I said, I think his get off his first step is kind of inconsistent.
You ready for this?
What is it?
So he came in at 6'3", 256, ran a 4.63 with a 41.5-inch vertical and 19 bench reps.
Good.
That dude is a physical specimen.
Facts. But yeah, I also think he's the best 3-4 in the class. But yeah, like I said, I think the only thing he can work on is his snap timing, because sometimes he's just the last one off the ball. Sometimes the offensive lineman's already set, and once they're already set before you're even getting in your moves, you're done. That's his only weakness to me. Like Shawn said, don't put him in a 4-3 defensive end. That's not the smart idea to do.
I'm not saying he couldn't do it if you're trying to do like where you have like 3 or more pass rushers on the field at a time in like a nickel kind of situation where it's like 3rd and long. Maybe then he could probably do it, but just especially on like base downs, nah, fam. I'm not doing that. He's not he's good. He's a decent enough run defender. I just think he's better at doing everything standing up.
Yeah.
So my edge 3 is going to be Jalen Phillips, and the only reason why he's not number 1 for me is I weigh the injury concerns more than you do. I feel like this guy, I think he played at UCLA. He was told to retire by doctors there because his concussions were so severe, and he ended up getting a second opinion. UCLA didn't want him back. He transfers to Miami, and he just wrecks everything. It looks like he never got hurt at all. But all it takes is one more, and you never know what could happen. That kind of scares me a little bit for taking him, honestly, in the first round. Kind of scares me. I would do it still, but it was just scary. I would be a little bit more hesitant about him, for me, more so than I would Kwity Paye or Ossai. You talked about Phillips earlier. Dude has insane get off, in my opinion.
His first step is incredible.
His technique is second to none in the class. If he stays healthy, man, someone could potentially get a steal as a late first, early second round guy, in my opinion. I've
seen people compare him to J.J. Watt, T.J. Watt. He's not their exact size. He's kind of in between in their size, but just their physical, how they play.
Mm-hmm.
There's some plays that if you just compare like J.J. Watt and T.J. Watt plays right next to Jalen Phillips, they look almost identical.
Yeah, he's going to be a good player, man. He's 6'5", 266, 15.5 TFLs, and 8 sacks last year. It's not bad. I think he only played 10 games.
Yeah. Yeah, so there goes those 3. Now let's move on. My number 4, who is actually quite close with number 3, Aziz Ogilari out of Georgia. Let's go ahead and find.
Hey, he's my number 4 as well, so we'll talk about him together.
Let's go ahead and get to Aziz right here.
Let me give you his stats. He's 6'3", 240. He checked in at 12.5 TFLs, 9.5 sacks last year.
Look at these moves. He's very. I mean, I think he's a better pass rusher than a run defender. He's not terrible as a run defender, but he's much better as a pass rusher. There's a good play of him against the run right here. But overall, I think he's very athletic.
Yeah, I like him as a 3-4 outside linebacker. I don't remember him dropping into coverage too much while at Georgia, but according to him, he said he can do it no problem.
He dropped in coverage a couple times I watched.
And was he decent at it? I didn't really.
Yeah, he kind of dropped into irrelevant coverage. He just dropped and was just kind of bouncing around. He wasn't like necessarily lined up against anybody. He was just kind of
I've seen people talk about him and say that he has insane bend. I don't personally see elite bend.
Bend is his weakness, in my opinion.
Yeah, I see like his bend is good enough. In my opinion, it's good enough for him to succeed. I don't think it's elite by any means. I think it's just like average.
Watch this play in the Alabama game. This is the first play in the Alabama game that kind of got Georgia going for a while. Just beats the blocker. That was Leatherwood, by the way, that he beats, I believe. No, that's Deontay Brown. He beat a guard, but than the count, who runs a like 7 flat 40.
Right.
Picks the ball off, but he beat. Yeah, that's Deontay Brown right there that he beats. But just
it's impressive that he's beaten these big old linemen weighing only 240 pounds.
For sure.
That's impressive to me. His strength is pretty decent.
But yeah, I think the biggest argument against him is his bend isn't. It's good enough, like you said. His 3-cone drill was not impressive.
See, he's getting by these guys off pure like speed. It looks like his bend is not really that insane to me.
Yeah, he's
just blowing by him. Which I mean, if your get off is that good, boy, go ahead. Yeah, that's also my number 4 guy.
This is him. This is him setting the edge, kind of, right there, pushing him inside so he can't get outside. Other guys get to him.
And the guy hit his back legs and tumbled him over right there. Yeah, so that's my number 4 guy, just as well as yours. If you want to go ahead and go on to your number 5.
All right, number 5 for me is later in the film because I actually reviewed him a bit late.
Oh man, do we have the same one?
He actually kind of made me want to break my computer screen a couple times while watching the film.
Yes, sir.
It's Ronnie Perkins out of Oklahoma.
That's my number 5.
This dude is a beast. He is right here lined up against 76. Oh, actually, yeah, 76. Look at him containing Emory Jones. Actually, not arguably, the best quarterback runner in college football. He just contains him, beats the block of 51. And
he split the
here's
block
a pass rush.
Ooh, he killed him on that one.
Let's watch this again. There he goes. He just runs around the block, finds the hole. Gets a free rush, basically. Here's this one. There he goes again, stopping Trask on the run, which...
So Ronnie Perkins is 6'3", 247. He only played 6 games this year, but he had 10.5 TFLs, 5.5 sacks.
Ronnie Perkins is my favorite player. He's the most balanced player, in my opinion.
For me, Ronnie Perkins is, if you want a guy who is that elite athlete at the position, and you're banking on you're banking on molding this elite athlete into a pass rusher to succeed for your team. A lot of people think that's Jason Owe. For me, I'd rather take Ronnie Perkins because Ronnie Perkins has better production, and he's just as good. He's almost as good of an athlete as Jason Owe is.
I think he's not as raw as Owe either, because I think he does kind of know what he's doing sometimes. Yeah. He doesn't just run at guys. He's a super athlete, as you can say. And like you said, he had all those tackle for losses. When you watch his film, you just see he's a great run defender. He's a good pass rusher.
He explodes off the ball, man.
Yeah, his get off is fantastic. He has tons of upside.
God, it's such a good edge class.
Just look at him beat that block right there. Let's watch that again. I mean, obviously it's Trask, who's kind of Lamar Traskson. He just look at what is that block? Who is that? I believe that's a tight end, but still, I don't care. I want to see who that is.
I know this isn't a Jaguars video, but we're a Jaguars podcast, and there's just so many edge rushers. If the Jaguars can't get one of these guys, man,
let's watch.
I'll cry.
He just kind of tries to block him, but his get off is too good for that tight end. The tight end just had no chance.
He's like, well, let me just get to the side of him real quick.
And here he is he had a great game against Oklahoma State too. There he is. He just kind of takes a double team.
Woo!
He's a stud. I don't know how I didn't know about this guy until yesterday.
I'm glad that I wrote him to you.
Here's the other end. Here's the end zone angle of this.
I'm glad I reminded you about him.
There he is right there.
Is that Tevin Jenkins?
Look, yeah, it's Tevin Jenkins.
Woo! Just bullied him over.
Tevin Jenkins.
That's first round prospect there, Tevin Jenkins, getting ran over.
So
247 Ronnie Perkins versus Tevin Jenkins, who's probably over 300. Easily.
Joseph Ossai, Tevin Jenkins probably got the W against him if you look at everything.
I'll give him the W in pass reps, and I'll give them a push in run defense.
But and then there was the play where he literally pushed Ossai into the sideline. That was kind of funny. But Ronnie Perkins was not letting that happen to him.
He just
attacked. Oh my goodness!
He has that arm length. May you see him put the arm right into him before he got up to him?
Yeah, he's got the
wind it real quick.
He's got
You rewind it just a little bit. He put his arm right into him and just drove him back. Watch.
right there.
Boom. He sticks him. And Tevin Jenkins just is gone. Look at that. Gone.
And forces the quarterback to run out. Run out of the pocket.
Perkins,
there he goes. Oh, there he goes. Oh, he rips him down.
So my top 5 guys so far, I could see all his first rounders, by the way.
Yeah, I could see them all first rounders too. Ronnie Perkins would probably be most likely a second rounder, but I could see him going in the first if a team likes him enough.
I would take all 5 at 25 if I was Jacksonville.
Just look at
all 5 of them. I wouldn't care.
Oh, that's not Ronnie Perkins. That's somebody we'll get into later. But
okay, so
I'll let you say your
number
6
for you.
Oh,
okay. My number 6 is, and I only reason why I gave number 6 to this guy is just because of his height, weight, speed, athletic profile, and that's Gregory Russo. And I know a lot of people are down on him right now because he opted out, didn't really show anything in the film that he did show as a redshirt freshman. He had a lot of sacks, a lot of TFLs. I just feel like a lot of his sacks came either on stunts or on him lining up over a guard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there he is again against the guard right there.
He lines up over a guard. He gets it on stunts. Some of it was cleanup. But I mean, he was a redshirt freshman, and I know people wanted to see him play this year as a redshirt sophomore to see how he advanced. But I mean, this guy is 6'7", 265, freak athlete at the position, upside through the roof. But his floor also, in my opinion, isn't very high based off of we haven't seen very much. We've only seen the 1 year of tape, be it people think it's great tape. I think it's so-so. I know he had a lot of sacks, but sacks don't tell the whole story. Again, over a guard.
There he is right against the center.
Yeah. Most of the sacks you'll see are
he's good at sorry to cut you off, but he's good in run defense because if you just look at his length. He's
big. He's, like I said, 6'7", 265. If you wanted him to put on a little bit more weight to where he would play like a big end in a 4-3 and then move inside on rush downs, that might be – if you could find somebody to run that scheme similar to how like Jacksonville played with Calais Campbell before, if you could find somebody to play that scheme with him, he might succeed in that.
What is his guard doing? FSU's guard play is he had like 4.5 sacks in one game against FSU. Right. What? He just dives at him.
He was trying to cut him, and he just flat out missed.
That was not good.
That's because he knows he's outmatched athletically.
Yeah, for me, I'll get more into it, but I just think I have him ranked a lot lower than you do, just because I think his floor he is such good upside, but his floor is just so low. In my opinion,
to me, his floor is more unknown than anything.
Yeah, that's true, and I think
I just don't know what he's going to be. I think it's going to take the right system for him to succeed.
Oh, there he is against Kyle Pitts, the tight end. That's when Kyle Pitts was a bad blocker. Kyle Pitts was a bad blocker in 2019. You can watch him right here. He just kind of beats him, takes down Felipe Franks.
Who's your number 6?
My number 6 is Patrick Jones II.
Ooh.
I'm a big fan of Patrick Jones II. When I got into his film, I was having a fun time watching that. You said his size, his frame and stuff, which that is kind of
his frame and his length concerns me for him to be a consistent edge rusher against some of these bigger NFL tackles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These NFL tackles, they typically have your longer arms, your bigger frames. I feel like they might give him a little bit more trouble, and that's why he's not in my top 10. That's not to say he's not a good player, but he's just not personally in my top 10. He's very close to it, though.
Yeah, I love watching him.
He's fast.
In the way he runs, he looks so fast. Yeah, he's pretty good technically. There are some things I would like to work on because he does kind of the way he runs so hard that sometimes he just loses his balance and just misses. Just watch how he runs. He just runs so like he's using his arms so much.
Excited, man. He gets excited.
Yeah, he runs excited. Here he is. He just kind of.
He said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to get you."
Yeah, I don't know. I was just watching his film.
He's definitely a good player.
Outside of his size, and I think he gets a lot more pressure Then he does sacks, but he also is just fantastic. And then he does play against another guy who's in my top 10, who I'll actually talk about later. You guys could probably figure out who it is if you know the other Pitt defensive end. But this game, he against Notre Dame, he was playing against these elite tackles. He beat Eichenberg a couple times, which was really fun to watch. There he is. You just see him using the arm length right there.
Eichenberg didn't get beat very often.
I know.
Yeah, he's a really good athlete. I just, just the length and frame just a little bit scares me a little bit. But that's not to say he can't, work around that.
Yeah, and then let me find the Senior Bowl clip because I did include. There we go. He got a sack in the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, he did look good at the Senior Bowl. I remember that when I was watching the practices too.
Here he is right here. This is in the game. Just absolutely murders that tackle and takes Jamie Newman down.
Who was that tackle?
I have no idea, but
quite terrible.
Let's watch that one more time.
Who is that? 72? Can't tell the helmet.
He just got killed.
Jesus.
Yeah, let's give your number 6.
Well, I did my number 6 already, so.
Oh, I forgot you went first.
So my number 7. Are you feeling one? Go ahead with your number 7.
My number 7 is Boogie Basham.
Boogie Basham.
Also known as Carlos Basham, but Boogie Basham sounds much more fun.
I like Boogie Basham.
Yeah, Boogie Basham. I believe this is Boogie Basham film right here. Yes, it is. Just it's going to be a slow-moving kind of explaining the play right here.
Boogie Basham, your prototypical big 4-3 end.
Yeah, he's big. He's much faster than I thought he was.
Oh,
there were times where he just kept his motor kept going. There he is, right there. And he's running behind a running back or a wide receiver all the way downfield. I'm like, how is this guy keeping pace?
That's a lot of beef coming at you.
Yes, it is.
At 285 pounds of beef.
He's pretty smart when he goes in a pass rush. He kind of knows what he's doing. He could use more moves and stuff. He's pretty good against the run. I think he's pretty good at everything. It's just I don't think he's elite at everything at anything. But I do think he has a good bit of upside. I think he's a good athlete. That's why I put him here over somebody else who I think is better right now. But I think he's a much better athlete, especially with his surprising speed. That's why I gave him the edge over my number 8 and 9. Well, actually, not over my number 8, but over my number 9.
So my number
here he is
7,
against Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, he sacked Trevor Lawrence quite a few times. He had that one, and he has another one too. I can't remember when it was, but it wasn't like that. It wasn't on one where Trevor Lawrence rolled out right. I think Trevor Lawrence just it took him too long to release the ball.
Yeah,
and he got crushed. So my number 7 is Joe Trion. He opted out this past year, so we didn't really get to see much of him. I feel like if he would have played, he probably would have been higher.
Here's some of him right here.
A little bit of Joe Trion action.
Number 9.
Yeah. Ooh, that boy quick. I like him as well as a 3-4 outside linebacker. I think he can play coverage.
Yeah, he dropped into coverage a lot, way more than I expected. They actually lined him up. They lined him up out wide one time. I was like, "What do you?"
Hey man, do what you got to do. Joe Trion checks in at 6'5", around 260, 262. Look at that elite quickness, explodes off the ball. He opted out, which dings him a little bit in my book, just because you're not really sure what you're getting. But his 2019 stats were pretty good. I don't have them in front of me, but I can look them up real quick. Joe Trion stats. You're talking about in 2018 in 13 games. 2019. I'm sorry. In 13 games, he had 12.5 tackles for a loss and 8 sacks. So that's pretty good in my opinion. He's a guy I could see as a mid-second rounder in my opinion, especially for a team looking for a 3-4 outside linebacker. I think you'd be getting a good player in him if you wait till then.
Yeah, he's got pretty good size too. He's got good speed. Has he had his pro day yet?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. But he's a decent. He's another player who I think he's pretty good. Like he's a decent pass rusher. I think he's a good run defender.
And being a good run defender as a rookie is really going to help teams to draft you earlier, in my opinion, because it's a good skill set to have. I'd rather have a guy who is good, who is decent at rushing the passer and good at stopping the run, than a guy who just can't stop the run at all.
For sure, for sure.
Like how I thought Caleb on Chase was going to be when we drafted him. I thought he was going to be not very good in run. He wasn't really early, but he picked it up later in the season.
I remember the first game. He had the interception called back, and we thought he was going to be really good.
Yeah. He actually ended up playing pretty well.
Yeah, he played pretty well at the end of the year. But my number 8 is Gregory Russo. I had him at 9, but I was like, he does have a ton of upside, so I guess I'll put him up. But the reason I have him so low before you go insane in the comments is, 1, he looks like Slender Man, and he takes some Slender Man steps. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, he needs to fill his frame a little bit, or fill his frame out, I should say.
He gained most of his sacks and against guards and centers who just don't have the arm length that he does. So, and they don't have the athleticism either. So he just kind of uses his athleticism to win those. Mm-hmm. You could probably count on one hand how many times he wins outside on the actual edge against tackles. He's a great athlete. Sometimes his height does work against him, which obviously having the height is good, but also at the same time, sometimes, like I said, with the Slender Man steps and how long his legs are, how slender he is sometimes. He physically, just size, height, and stuff reminds me of Calais because they both played at Miami, but Calais was much better coming out. Yeah, and I just think his floor is so much lower than most people because
I just think it's a question mark because we don't know where we're getting. I don't know what he's been doing.
He needed to
in his spare time.
Of all people, he did not need to opt out. He needed that year of.
You're talking about a guy. If he didn't opt out and he produced the same as he did his redshirt freshman year, would have been a top 5 pick probably.
Probably, yeah. There's just so many things I just don't like about it that just aren't things you want to see from an edge. I can play his film again, but I mean, when you just watch his film, it's just kind of underwhelming because I remember he had the top 5 height for a while, and then
some teams gonna draft him in the first round though.
Probably
they're gonna just fall in love with the athleticism and the size.
And the majority of his numbers came within like 3 or 4 games. He got like 4.5 against FSU because FSU's offensive line was
# not good.
I needed to bleach my eyes after watching that offensive line. Yeah, you hit a lot on Gregory Russo. I'm just not high on him at all. I think his floor is really low, and the floor scares me because obviously every coach is going to be like, "Oh, I can coach him up.
Right.
But I don't think it's going to be that easy, and it'll be interesting to see. But
where are we at? Number 8?
Number 8, yes.
My number 8 is Boogie Basham. 6'5", 285, 4.5 TFLs last year and 5 sacks. He didn't play very many games. I think he played like 6, maybe 7.
I don't recall.
Boogie Basham, big body. I think he'll be like another one of those guys like Calais who can dominate on the edge and run defense and then slide inside on 3rd down and try to beat a guard with his size and his length and his athleticism. Way more athletic than I thought I was gonna see watching him on tape from a 6'5", 285 guy. You wouldn't know that he was 285 the way he runs.
Exactly. I was very surprised with his athleticism.
He's a lot faster than I would have thought.
And he keeps going. He never quits. Like he's that guy who he's not going to think, oh, they're too far away from me. He'll just chase a guy all the way down the field. Right. Even if it's a 90-yard run, you'll see him 90 yards downfield. He's never going to quit.
Yeah, I like the hustle, and I think he's going to be another good player. So I'm on my 8th edge rusher, and it's Carlos Basham, and so I have Basham ranked as a mid to late 2nd rounder. So you're talking about 8 edge rushers already, and we're not even out of the 2nd round yet.
This is a very deep
for my grades.
This is a very deep edge class.
Oh.
Now, my number 9 is also from Pitt University. It is Rashaad Weaver. I'm quite high on him. The reason I put Gregory Russo and Boogie Basham over Rashaad Weaver, because I think Rashaad Weaver is probably better right now, but I think he doesn't have the most upside. I don't think he's the best athlete, but I think right now he just kind of knows what he's doing, and I think if you just keep teaching him like specifically moves and stuff, I think he can be a solid pass rusher. Let me find his film.
think Rashaad Weaver, when I'm watching his film, he's kind of like a Carlos Basham light to me.
Yeah.
He's not quite as big.
He's not as
athletic.
fast.
Yeah, not quite as big, not quite as athletic, but a similar body type, similar play style.
For sure.
Another one of those guys who could dominate on the edge and then move inside. I feel like on nickel and rush from the inside. Yeah. Which I mean, Clay's got like 14.5 sacks doing that 1 year. So I mean, it could work.
Yeah, I think he could rotate around on the defensive line. I think he's just. I don't know. There's some games that I just watched, and it felt like he was unblockable at times. He had multiple games like that, and I was shocked. I was like, okay, this guy deserves to be in my top 10.
I had him in my top 10. He just didn't make the cut, actually, after I watched the film of one other person.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, you said you'd made your cut, and then you never did.
And then another person jumped into the lineup.
I don't know why I can't find his film in here. Because
people can Google it.
Yeah, because I had a Senior Bowl. He had a good Senior Bowl day too. But wait, here he is, right there, number 17. He's got a good bull rush too. I think.
Look at that! Oh my God.
Oh, here he is. He's got his spin move is actually kind of funny. He actually does quite a bit of a spin move for a guy his size. You wouldn't expect that. It's funny. I'm just watching it, and then he just does a spin move and gets a sack, and I'm like, okay, I was not expecting that. It should be after this play. There's Boogie Basham, by the way, forcing the interception. There he is, right there. There he is, just pushing his arms down. He's got great size. That's the difference between him and Patrick Jones. Is he has the better size, but Patrick Jones is a much better athlete. You could see him getting beat by Eichenberg. Kind of funny.
Eichenberg's my guy.
I know. He's mine too.
He's going to be a stud for the Colts.
Facts. All right, but who's your number 9?
Oh, this is my guy that I watched late, and he ended up pushing another player down and then ended up pushing Weaver out of my top 10. Was from a small school, Cam Sample out of Tulane. Tulane with the Green Wave, I think is what they're called. This guy is 6'3", 280. He had 7.5 TFLs last year and 5 sacks. A lot of people think he's a D tackle. I still think he's an edge. He looks, when he's rushing, he looks very similar to me to Matt Judon. And I would be very surprised.
Here he is right here.
I would be very surprised if Cam Sample is number 5, I believe.
Yeah.
I'd be very surprised if Cam Sample is not a Raven after maybe day 2 of the draft. I'd be very surprised. He fits that Ravens pass rusher mold, that big power rush type guy like Matt Judon. Not going to get, double-digit sacks probably, but a guy who probably consistently will be around 8 sacks a season kind of guy.
Yeah.
I think I'd be very shocked if he's not a Raven after day 2 of the NFL draft.
Yeah, for me, my number – or I don't have Cam Sample. I have him as an honorable mention, but I do think he's a very good player. It was also a struggle to find film on him, which was kind of annoying.
It is kind of hard, but
that's what happens when you're in a small school like Tulane. Yeah, on to number 10, the last one before just honorable mentions, is Jason Owe.
Hey, he's my number 10 too, so we'll rock this one together.
Jason Owe, I was disappointed.
Mr. 438.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the only reason he made number 10 is because he's an incredible athlete.
6'5", 252, ran a 4.38. Are you kidding me?
His plays will be in a second, but just watching him, it just didn't feel like he didn't do much in the run game for me. He didn't do much as a pass rusher. He did not put up numbers. There he is, right there. These are from his whole career. He was actually a decent pass rusher as a freshman. I don't know what happened to that. But
Jason Owe to me is a guy that
you're drafting purely off all that athleticism.
Off of his high upside athleticism. You're hoping you can work with him, coach him up to learn some pass rush moves because right now he has none, in my opinion. This guy is a guy who relied on his speed and athleticism to run by guys.
There he is right here. Watch this play. he didn't really have a pass rush move. He just kind of kept running in front of the offensive lineman until he found a hole and then just ran straight at the quarterback. Actually, did I go past the next play? That play actually did pretty good right here. He just kind of pushes him and then just runs until he gets open.
Right. And see, okay, when you're playing on the edge, and now we know that he runs a 4.38, you can do that. You know what I'm saying? You can blow by left tackles, and he'll probably be able to do that versus left tackles, right tackles in the league who aren't that great. But
watch this play as well. Oh, I got to go back just a little bit. Here we are. He's not really going to do much. He just kind of pushes him, and then he rolls out, and then he's just got that speed just to stay on him.
His change of direction is like elite physical specimen, and if a team takes him in the early second, mid-second, I don't hate it, but
he just doesn't have anything right now besides.
He had 6.5 TFLs and no sacks last year, but he did have 24 pressures, but 10 of them came against Minnesota in one game.
Minnesota's offensive line is awful.
He had 10 pressures in that one game. Him and Shakatoni, I think, combined for like 18 pressures that game or something like that.
Oh, my gosh.
You're talking about 18 pressures in a game. Some people don't get 18 pressures in a season.
Yeah, I was.
But he had 24 pressures. That's pretty decent. I know pressures are more important
Look at that
in the grand scheme. Yeah, he's got elite speed.
This just plays. He did beat him right there, though. That was a good move.
Yeah.
But this one is just he just blows by. He just blows by him. That's how he wins. He just blows by guys.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's my top. He's my number 10 as well. And so we got through 10 players, and those are all. You're talking about Jason Owe, in my opinion, is a mid to late second rounder again. So you're talking about 10 edge rush players, and you're not even out of the second round yet.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's just such a good class for edge rushers.
Rushers, wide receivers, and even corner, in my opinion, is really deep this year.
There's so many guys. This class is so fast, too. There's just so many.
This class is so great.
Overall,
it's one of the all-time great classes in all time, probably. And I'm sure 3 years from now, we'll go back to this video when all these people suck and we'll get made fun of because this class ended up sucking. Watch. Like 2013.
Yeah, Gregory Russo and Jason Owe for me. The only reason they made the top 10 is because of how much upside they have. They don't have anything else for me. I mean, Russo has more than Owe, but neither of them really give me anything besides their upside. But yeah, that's our top 10 edge rushers. So make sure.
Any honorable mentions?
Oh, honorable mention. Mine is Joe Trion and Cam Sample. You already went over them.
Oh, so I have a mid-round gym for y'all if you want another guy to go look at. That's going to be Ellerson Smith from Northern Iowa. This is a guy who's probably going to be another 3-4 outside linebacker. I have him as like a 4th rounder right now. Dude came to the Senior Bowl and just flat out, I'm not going to say he dominated, but he played extremely well versus these big name tackles, these big school tackles. And this is a guy from Northern Iowa. I think they're FCS school, I'm pretty sure. This guy is going to be a beast. I think he's like 6'5", like 265, somewhere around there. I think he's going to be a monster at the next level. And someone's going to get a steal of him in the 4th round, and I hope it's us.
Maybe. But, yeah, that's our top 10 and honorable mentions for edge rushers. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you guys have any questions, we'll be answering some.
If you did enjoy it, like and subscribe.
If you like and subscribe, make sure to share as well. Ask us questions below. Say how dumb we are.
Yeah, tell us we're stupid. I don't care. I'll respond.
He's going to be replying on his account. I'll be replying on this account. Make sure to follow our Twitter because I do tweet lots of poll questions. We also let you guys know when videos are coming out. Let you guys know when we're recording and stuff. So make sure to follow that. All the links will be below. Both of our private Twitters will be, or personal Twitters will be below. Make sure to follow all that. Subscribe, like, comment, do all of that, share. And yeah. Sorry about me struggling with my allergies today.
It's okay, man. It happens.
It's happened all week. I hate pollen very much. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys next time. Oh, also make sure to give us tips if you have any. See ya.